All right. What we plan to do is to first, before you start planning for like what we have here, sprint planning, we need to plan the sprint. But before we start planning the sprint, we need to use a tool called Jira. We've already done workshop on Jira, so we need to move the product backlog to Jira. All the items we need for the sprint planning, we need to move it on Jira. We need to refine them and then plan the sprint and start the sprint in Jira. So the first thing we need to do is, if we don't have an account in Jira, we go create an account in Jira. We already have, I'll use my account in Jira for the purpose. So if any of the team have invited me, I would have used their own account, but I'm going to use my account because no team have invited me for that. So I'll proceed and get to my Jira account and we start. So I'll start sharing my screen. So any question you have, and I'll ask you a question when I finish.
No, sorry, Mr. Charles, but we added you in our own.
I didn't see any invitation, and you didn't tell me you added me.
I invited you when I requested your email. I did.
Yeah, I didn't see any invitation, and you didn't tell me if you invited me. You can, no, you are not the only one that requested for my email. A lot of other people requested for my email, but I didn't receive any invitation, and nobody told me that I've been invited to any group. So that's it. So I'm continuing. Please hold your question till, because if you know, you should have called me before now. So please allow me to continue. If you have any question after the session, you can come up with your question.
When I sent an invite, my mind was that they will send you a message in your email. That was why I didn't call your attention to that anymore. But I invited you.
There's what we call validation in project management. What is validation? Reconfirmation of any activity. And we already talk about validation all the time. Okay, what we are going to be working, I hope everyone here can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are going to create the Jira. We need to move this product backlog we are going to work on Jira. And we need to say, just type Jira and come up Jira. So we have Jira here, Jira software, and for the first time, just I could say Jira is the product of Atlassian. Scroll down, you see Jira here. As you are not going to see Jira.com, you're going to be seeing Atlassian.com because they own this product. So, and you can get it for free, but I've already have an account. I'm going to use my account, so I don't need to get it again. So So this is my account in Jira. So, and yeah. Like I remember the last demo I had with you when I was teaching, I used this demo account. Yeah. So, okay. There's no need of me creating a new project here because this is BetaMarketplace CRM. This is for teaching purposes. I used it when we had a lesson on Jira. So it's still here. So I'll continue using it. So here we have summary. You can see summary. Then we'll have timeline. Timeline here. And we have backlog. So we have backlogs here. And how many backlogs? Just these few items here. And we have board here. So in this board, nothing is here. So what we need to do is to go to our timeline and plan. So here we have this that is licensing, software licensing, and we'll have other things here. So all these items we've created, so we need to recreate them again. We need to I'll put it back to do, and this as well. I will put it back to do, and here this as well. I'll put it back to do. And this as well. Yeah. So now we have these are all the product backlog items we need to start a sprint. So we have them here. So they've all been moved from here from this our backlog here to Jira here. So everything is ready here. this movement done, for those who don't know when we moved it was done when we did a demo session, when I used this to teach people how to move items. So you see here, so there is no need of creating additional one. We already have our product backlogs here. So, and we've groomed them as well. We've groomed them as well. The only thing we need, which I think we should do now, is part of the grooming. We didn't add story points because I can't see any story points in any of this. So we need to add story points. We know what's the story point, the effort it takes to carry out any of this activity. So, and the story point is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, and 1 being the least, the effort. So here, let's say story point here is, this one is giving it 5. So story point is 5. Here. And let's check this as well to have story points on this. Let's look. The acceptance criteria is added already. So the story point for this is 6. So we've groomed this as well. That's good. And this will have the story point as well. Story point for this is 9. And let's look for the story point for this. The story point is 7. So good. So let's look at this one. If it's okay, this bit we've not we didn't groom this bit. So you can see here we don't have details here. So I think that's where we have to start grooming or refinement. So this one is done. So where we have work is to schedule follow-up tasks. So schedule follow-up tasks. Okay. I think we need to describe this and create the user stories and acceptance criteria. So let me check where this for schedule up. That's here. Schedule a follow-up task. So it's as a sales rep. So I grab it. And come back to the Jira and drop it here. Yeah, as the sales rep, I want to schedule a flow of tasks for leads so that I can stay organized and ensure that I don't forget follow up with potential customers. So I need to equally add acceptance criteria for this before I save. So I come over here. This is the acceptance criteria. Every user story must have an acceptance criteria, either one or two or more acceptance criteria. I grab it. I come over here. I dump it. We call it acceptance criteria. And that's it. I'll save. And after saving, I come down again and the story points to estimate the amount of effort, and I will give it 7 and I'll save it, and I'm done with this. So, and that's it. I then move to, I want to generate reports and dashboard. So let's check. You can see this as well. It's not groomed. You don't have enough information to understand what the user wants to do. So we need the full user story and acceptance criteria for the developers to be fully informed. And I come over here. I grab this. And I drop, and I come back here. I grab the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria. And I save, and story point estimation, I'll give it 6, and I'll save, and I close. Now come over to this. This is I want to be able to search for lead based on specific criteria. It means that you can just search for lead using keywords, using phone number, using email, or using name, or anything. So specific criteria. So let's elaborate on this. by grabbing the full details of this. Grab, I drop. I go back to get the acceptance criteria. Okay. All right, I'll save it. And story points, colleagues can see 7. So mind you, is this the story points here, the developers determine the story points, not the business analyst. So because the business analyst, you are not the one who is building or doing the configuration. So it's these people that are doing the work that will determine how difficult it is and how it's going to be. So not added the acceptance criteria for this. Well, let's just grab the full user stories and it's the duty of the business analyst or the product backlog or the product owner to create this. Yeah, the product owner should create this product backlog and add in the products and what designing these user stories and everything here is the duty of the business analyst to work with product owner to do some of all these technical bits. So the product owner should be more of working with the stakeholders to be getting all these requirements or all these backlog items. Okay, and this we save because these do not have story acceptance criteria, so it will be subject for further refinement. So maybe now and then sprint, so it's not fully refined. So while we start working, we work on the items that are ready. So, and that's with what we have on board, we can start a sprint. So now What we do, we move to product backlogs to see where we're going to now start planning for the sprint. So you can see here, if I scroll down, you see we have all the product backlog items, like I call it items. Once we are here, you call it product backlog items. Why do you call it product backlog items instead of user stories? Because we have other items here that are not user story. Like the first one is not a user story, it's a tax. We call it a tax. And these other ones are called product backlogs. Then while we start working, we can, after the testing, we'll find out that one user story do not meet the acceptance criteria during the testing, and we'll bring it back here. Once that happens, it becomes a bug. It's no longer a product, a user story, becomes a bug. So we have three types of items in our product backlog. We have bug, we have user stories, and we have tags. So it is called PBI. So take note of that. So that's it. We have enough items here to start our sprint. And how do we start our sprint? This is the sprint environment. You see it here. You see no item. We don't have any item here. We're going to move items from product backlog to the sprint environment. Once it's now in sprint environment, it's no longer called product backlog. It's now called sprint backlog. For some of you who might want to write your Scrum Master certification exam, these are some of the questions they are going to be asking you. Okay, I start moving. It's drag and drop. See, I've moved number one. I've moved another one. And I'll keep dragging and dropping. And I'll drag and drop all the items I need for this sprint. And this as well. And well. And this as well. And we'll have enough items. We are not moving this because it's not fully refined. And here we have all the items we want to use for the sprint. We already refined them, groomed them, so they are ready for work. They are ready for consumption. And with that, everybody is happy. We come over here. We click on this to start the sprint. And I'll click on this. You come over here. We agreed during our session, we talk about duration. We say the duration of a sprint can be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It can't exceed 4 weeks. That is what the Scrum guide said about this. And as such, I come over here, we choose our sprint. Here, we can choose 2 weeks, we can choose, I'm going to choose 1 week because I told you that this project needs to close ASAP. We are going to work on a 1 week sprint. But in most cases, companies, they choose 2 week sprints. And once you choose here, you write, you see here is once you choose 1 week, the other you can, the end is already, because sprint is 1 week. 1 week is 7 days. Both Saturday and Sunday will calculate only the working days. So here is going to be expected to come to an end on this date. So this is the start, and this is the end date, 16th. So that's it. We can't, we must have to state the goal, the objectives, the sprint goal. What do we plan to achieve here? We have to agree. And the goal here, we see, is implementation of D365 CRM sales. Yeah. Implementation of Dynamics 365 CRM sales. For better management, let's use more technical word. For improved management of leads and lead and contact. For better marketplace. And that's it. So by the time we finish this sprint, BetaMarketplace should be able to use Dynamics 365 CRM system to manage their lead and contact management, and possibly increase the rates of their lead conversion. We save. And that's it. The sprint have started. So having started the sprint, now you see automatically the system moves us from backlog to board. Board is what we call sprint board, where we manage the sprint. So, and here we look at all the items we have here. So we need to arrange them the way we want to start. So the first thing should be, this one should be on top, because that should be most important. Software licensing. So we need to get a software licensing to be able to get started with this. So without software licensing, nothing can happen. And we drag it to this point, and this sprint have started. And that's it. We've started this sprint. So the next thing we need to do is buy the license, and then once the license, the developers will have access and start the configuration. And that we'll do tomorrow in our class tomorrow. We'll see by tomorrow we should be able to get a license and then see how we get access. And yeah. So this is where we're ending it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll continue where we stop, and hopefully by by Friday, we should be able to carry out a testing. And tomorrow maybe we'll do the configuration and then setting it up and do the testing, and that's it. So that's where we are. And if you have any question, what source, a lot of you trying to ask question or raise hand, you can do that now. Amarachi.
Okay, hi, Mr. Charles. Good evening. Okay, thank you so far for the class. I just wanted to bring something to you notice, or rather, we want to take, I think is our own shortcoming for Enugu. Sorry, I'm taking you back, but before I ask my question, I just wanted to say something. You were supposed to be added to our Jira. In fact, when I checked, I saw that you've been added. I don't know, maybe you were supposed to accept the invite. That has made me to understand that we are supposed to validate anything we do with stakeholder to be sure that we are in the same line with them. That said, for Enugu, our Jira is ready. We've gotten to this stage. We've groomed our product backlog. We've moved from putting the whole user story to acceptance criteria and grooming, and gotten to this stage where you are at the moment. That was why, as at yesterday, we are thinking that you would have seen what we've done after the invitation. But nevertheless, we hope that you will still check it out and direct us on what next to do. Because while we were set on doing this, is that when you look at it, you'll be able to point out if there's any mistake, so that in subsequent or maybe in the future, if we are working on Jira, we wouldn't make that mistake again. That was why we wanted you to look at our work. That said, I hope and I believe that you will look at it. So my question for this section is this: when you are when imputing story on Jira, there are some parts that has a sign icon. Now, are we expected to, if we are working on a project with other team members, are we expected to assign those user stories to people we are working with, like the developers, the UI team? I just wanted to know, or we just leave it there, they'll go pick it, or the creator, the BA is expected to assign those roles or those responsibility to the team? That's my question.
Okay, based on your question, and I will answer your question based on the Scrum Guide. According to Scrum Guide, developers are independent of any distraction. They are cross-functional team, and nobody assigns any, as long as the job, as long as the sprints have started, nobody assigns them job. Everybody, you work on your pace, you work on your creativity, you work within, well, you choose what you to do and what not, because for you to be there, you are trusted. So part of the ethics or the values in Sprint or Scrum or Agile is trust. You've trusted them to do their work. That is basically the difference between Agile and Waterfall. In Waterfall, like in Basecamp, in Freecamp, we are doing Waterfall. In that case, you see the project manager, you assign responsibilities to team members, you monitor them, you check on them to make sure they are doing their job. You follow them up. In Agile, you don't do that. In Agile, once the item has been moved to sprint and the sprint is planned and they started, you leave them to do their work. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
So
Thank
that
you.
is the difference between agile and waterfall.
Okay.
So I've seen so many times where project managers or Scrum Masters, they start assigning responsibility. Is wrong. And I've always corrected that impression according to, because so many of us, we claim we are practicing agile, but we are not. Once you go short of what the Scrum said, you are not practicing agile project management. Okay. The other aspect, I'm not here for pleading or begging. We are in a serious business here. If BetaMarketplace is Microsoft, where you are working, you are not going to come and start telling your project this, I'm sorry, I thought you. You just expect your firing letter, you are gone the next day because you're not good. They don't care. They are paying you a lot of money to do this work, and they are not here to start telling you, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. And I believe we have enough resources here. I took my time to inject enough resources here. We have a lot of training material, videos, documentation, templates. We'll talk about validation and carrying stakeholders along. We've done, so in this particular boot camp, we handled stakeholder management twice. I know someone was telling me, you've done stakeholder management, why are you doing it again? It's a repetition. I know. You know, I use it as a refresher because stakeholder, I wanted to stress on that point. Stakeholders management is very important. You need to carry a stakeholder. Anything you do, they must be on the know. And that is where you are not going to get into trouble with stakeholders. And at this point, I'm not on the know. You said you've done that, but I didn't get invitation. I should not be the one chasing you around. You should be the one chasing your stakeholders. And that is it. So I told you that this is an examination. In an examination, you don't go start begging a lecturer, I think this and that. No. So that is very soon we want to upgrade and issue certificates like diploma, BSc, MSc, and you cannot come to pay me, I'm sorry I did this, so because you need to know. So I'm being serious in what I'm saying here. So, but it will not stop you. I'm not saying you are not going to be a business owner, but based on my own evaluation, this is my resolution on that. And I'm doing this so that you have the video of it, so that later you can go watch it and do your correction and things like that. So, Mustafa.
Sorry, Mr. Charles. I just wanted to also know, because I know usually when we are doing this CRM update, you usually go to FreeCamp to check what we've done. Will you still be able to look at our work and that of Jira? I want to be sure that you look at it, or because you've already been invited. I can see you from the invite. Maybe it's for you to accept it and look at what we've done to be sure that we are on the right page.
With you, so you are now interrupting me, Mustafa.
Good evening, Mr. Charles. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask a question. So, for instance, I'm employed to do the business analysis of a company, and at the same time, I'm a software developer or a programmer or sort. Now, is it wise or ethical to being the project manager and at the same time being a developer on that project?
It depends on what you are being hired to do. You do what the company pays you to do. Once you are doing what the company did not ask you to do, Even if you are the best developer in the whole world, you are trespassing, and it's not allowed. Who tell you that I
All right,
don't
thank you,
have
sir.
who tell you I don't have multi-skilled? I do whatever I'm being contract. You have your contract letter. Don't you know what you call offer letter?
Sir,
Any rule,
sir.
any rule, any rule, you are invited or contracted for a company, the rule is stated there. The responsibilities are there. If at any point they want you to do other things outside of what is in the contract paper, then another letter should be issued to that effect, either promoting you to do this and that, or downgrading you from what you are doing. Maybe you are not getting it well, to a lesser role. You can't just because you are this, you start jumping in and start doing any other thing. You don't do that, or you get fired.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So thank you, everyone. I can see I've sorted all the questions here, and I'll see you tomorrow where we are going to start. Hopefully tomorrow we get the license and we set up our system, do the configuration and set up the system. And that's it. Agumnena, I don't know if you are saying bye-bye to me or I don't know.
Sir, it's my network. Sorry, it kicked me out, but I had to rejoin again.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for today's class. I understand everything you did here. Well, I just have a question based on the stakeholder analysis you talked about when you are answering Amarachi.
Okay, you are welcome with any question you got.
Thank you, sir. Oh, sorry for dragging you back anyway.
It's not a problem.
In the stakeholder analysis, each of the stakeholders, they made their preference on their communication, like the way you want to communicate with them. Like some will choose messaging them on phone, or calling them, or sending an email. Now, I want to ask, if a stakeholder chooses email communication, and is it supposed that when you send email to the stakeholder, you still call the person to confirm?
You don't need to, depends on the communication method. Like if a stakeholder chooses email, they mean that those stakeholders, they're always on their email. So they always see it, and there's evidence of, most of the time, email, because there's always evidence of email, So some stakeholders would not want, they will not even share their, only if you know their phone number, but some stakeholders, they don't even share. I've worked with so many big stakeholders who are very close. I didn't even have their phone number. We have good communication. In my own case here, so many of you know that my preferred method of communication here is WhatsApp. Anytime you send me a WhatsApp, boom, I respond you. So, have I answered your question?
Yes, yeah, you've answered my question, sir, because that is exactly what happened with us. Because when I invited you to that, Jerome, my mind was like, you will automatically see the
If you inform me,
email invite. That was the essence of this my question. If
I didn't see the email, no email, and no WhatsApp message. Do you have any WhatsApp when you told me about it?
Well, I didn't drop a notification on WhatsApp telling you that I've added you. But I request you sent your email to me, and
I always tell anybody, if you have any issue, drop me WhatsApp message. If you have any WhatsApp as an evidence where me and you communicated on this, you can screenshot it and send to us here. All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow.
Well, Sir Charles, for the sake of that we have tried, we've gone to an extent.
You are not in the position to tell me how I manage my class or how I grade my class.
I
You
know,
can't
sir.
tell me you are not in position to tell me you have tried. You might try at your own, but your trial might not be enough for me.
I know, sir. I know.
Okay. So
At least for the sake of correction, for the sake that these people have gone a long way.
the
Sir,
correction is what I'm making here. That's why I'm using my demo account here to run the project to the finish, so everybody will learn how to do it. But I've given you my assessment. I say that this is an exam. This is the final exam. So you don't have to go and tell your lecturer, I've tried. No.
So all our effort is in vain then.
I said you are learning. You're learning. Are you learning it in my head?
We are learning, sir.
So what are you saying your effort is in vain? You learned it already. So I'm not saying you are not a business analyst, but I said based on my threshold, it's an exam that I've sent to you people. And it doesn't matter if you don't get it. I'm not going to. As a matter of fact, you see our system, the certificate is there for as soon as this program is done, the certificate will be populated for you to download and keep your certificate. But it will not stop me from telling you the way I feel about your performance. So that's it. So if you, but like what I'm saying is that very soon we are going to be doing grading, where you are going to be getting 2-1 or 2-2 or pass or third class. Yep. Mr. Phillips.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Charles and Nigerian time. I don't have question much, but because we are still working on it, of which when we are through, we come up with something tangible. But what I want to ask is for the upgrade you are talking about, we are your old students, can we still come back, to when this grade starts, can we still come back to attend or maybe participate to get the grade too?
Well, it depends on if the grade here, for instance, let me give you a scenario here. We want to start like a BSc in data science. This will comprise data analysis, data engineering, and data governance. These are all the structure that makes data science. So if you have data analysis with us, then you can come and upgrade and get it. You cannot just say, I have the data, because based on what you've done, you do not meet up to be awarded that. Are you getting my point? So for you to get a full module that merited that, you must have data engineering, and you must have data governance as well. This is what we call data science. To become a data scientist, being a data analyst alone does not make you a data scientist.
Okay. When will this class start? So that I want to be part of it.
No, the issue here is that we always communicate. Like once we are finishing this, we are building a community so that everybody who has been part of our system, we always get updates about whatever is going on here. You are part of the community, and that's why already we are making in this project is 4 months. Yes, meaning that within 4 months, we've already exceeded 4 months. Yes, we should be able to tidy up everything and deliver to you. But we've made it lifetime access. So meaning that you have a lifetime access in the system. You know?
Okay, sir.
So you're always part of the system, and your certificate is always there. Even if you download your certificate, you can download it up to 200 times. It's still there. Meaning that your record is always there. So, like now, if you have graduated from University of Port Harcourt, your file will always be there.
Yeah.
Whenever you go there, you always get your file. Like if you want to travel, all of us know that if you want to travel abroad to do for that, they will ask for transcripts. You always go to university, you pay them, they give you transcripts. Meaning that your record is always there. So like here, your record is always there. Even if we are changing our system, we are going to do a migration that all the record we have in this system, we're migrating it to any other system we are using. So
All right, that's good. Because I want to join the next section of data analysis after this one, because I couldn't join this one.
okay, just like let me show like I'm seeing example of what I'm seeing here. Okay. Okay, this is still us, but this is work in progress. You can see this. Can you see that? So this is become part of our main this thing here in UK. We plan to have universities in so many countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of them, where we have physical environment where people can attend and things like that, which is going to be part of our UK system, like part of our agenda to expand globally from UK to other countries. So this is it. So which we can equally do exchange program, meaning that if you do 2 years here, everything is still in progress. If you do 2 years here in UK, in Nigeria, you might come to US, to UK to do to finish up. That is what we call exchange program. So these are part of things in. So, and it's work in progress, like I said. And you can see here, everything is still work in progress. You see here, like here, see BSc in data science, and here you see some of the stakeholders who are becoming part of what we're doing, and more will come. So like I said, it's work in progress. So
all right, sir. I catch. I'll be following.
okay, no problems. And yeah, All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And those who say they invited me, I appreciate that. But